you guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker. And as the title below would suggest, today we are going to talk about Llama Mama Kayla's yarn bingo for the month of March. I need like music now. And then like that actually sounded good. It actually sounded like I knew what I was doing for a moment. Anyway. So as I shared on Instagram and in the Facebook group, I did get a blackout again this month. So I want to take a moment for explanation. The phrase, "we can't all be Carrie good," has been bandied about a lot recently, but I would like to explain. Yes, I do have a little bit more control over my free time, how my free time gets used and stuff, because I am a homemaker. My job includes doing things that I can pretty much do anytime, any day, as long as it doesn't keep my husband up, or prevent him from relaxing. But I also don't sit still without something in my hands. It was a problem as a kid. It got me in a lot of trouble with my parents when I was being disciplined, but I still can't sit still to save my life. I'm constantly fidgeting with something. I constantly have to have something going in my hands. So I would like to explain, yes, I am an overachiever. Yes, I do crochet and knit a lot. Yes, I do make a lot of stuff. But a lot of it is mindless stuff that is absorbing the excess energy when I'm watching a movie or a sporting event or waiting in a doctor's office appointment, things like that. So, I just kind of wanted to get that out there. Thanks, Becky. So, what did I make so far this month? What didn't I make so far this month? There were only 2 blocks where I actually did the thing because it was on Yarn Bingo. I think Kayla has some sort of a dial-in for my house, because there were a number of things on here that she added that are funny, because I was like, oh, I really got to give that a shot, and had already started or already had it planned to be done this month. So little creepy there, Kayla. But the first one was clean your stash. I did a whole video about my newly tidied and organized stash. So if you want to see that, it's the Flash Your Stash video. I started that actually February 26th and finished it on March 5th. So a little something there. The next one we have is create something from a pattern or a book. This is another one I accidentally did and didn't realize I had completed it until I got further down the line in some of these other projects. I have a big old 31 tote full of everything. I walked through the house and gathered everything up. And I did forget one item, so I will have to pause the video and go and obtain that. But this is from the Leisure Arts. It's like 100 dishcloths book, and this is the first one in there. I'm still not entirely sold on this pattern. I kind of have some mixed feelings on it, but as far as how it's going to hold up as a dishy, and I think it'll be really good as like a counter rag or a pot holder. I'm not sure how it would do with dishes because of the holy nature of it. Finish a whip. This is the Jada and Stitches 2017 calendar blanket. I decided to do it after I started the 2019 calendar blanket, so I'm backlogged on doing the squares, so we did that one. That was 1 month's. Create something that includes green yarn. And we have the jelly bean hat. Or I think where did I put it? It could also be exchanged with this one. They're kind of, I have them written down. This is something green. This is Finish a Whip. Technically, they could be interchangeable, but as I wrote it down, I included this because it has the shots of the lime green in there. Create 3 dishcloths. So I've already gifted the 3 dishcloths that I made for this. Even though I could almost do it with some of the other stuff I got in here. Actually, here, we can do it this way. I can show you 3 other ones. Where's these 3? One doesn't have its end woven in yet. I finished it late last night. We can call it this. That's 3 dishcloths. So the second row, Finish a Whip. I've got it written down as my second jelly bean hat. I don't know. I love these. They're so cute. Enter a cowl. So I actually am doing the Jada and Stitches 2019 cowl, the Unraveled Mitten Stash Busting cowl, and I'm participating in Hannah over at Cozy Cottage Crochet, her Spread the Warmth Mal. So I've actually got 3 going right there. And over the course of this, I'm also participating in Becky at Funny Farm Crochet's dishcloth along. I don't think I'm going to have anything for her Christmas along this year. And there's another one the low cowl. I'm participating in that too. So, yeah, actually, I'm participating in a lot of cowls this year, which is really odd for me. Create an item that represents March. My leprechaun block. It did not bring me the look of the Irish. I blame Mary. Mary's Crochet Chit Chat. Check her out. Create something for a male in your life. So I went kind of in left field for this and made my husband a soup bowl cozy. As I explained when I shared this as part of my regular show and tell videos, my husband drinks soup or eats soup 2 to 3 times a week. Anytime he eats lunch here, generally he has soup, canned or homemade. So, and also this week we've had a lot of soup because I made cabbage soup for dinner with cornbread. Oh, so good. Giving y'all a peek at the shoulder there. Sorry about that. Last one on this row, create a plushie or a stuffed animal. Well, when Summer shared these on her channel, Summer's Tips and Stitches, I just kind of had to make them. I mean, how adorable are these? Set him back there. So that is the second row. Row 3, create something with self-striping yarn. I made the Hill 60 hat in one of the, I think this one is actually the Universal yarn, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's blue and gold. Create something that will be a gift. Ooh, he just messed with something he shouldn't have. I've got some of my hats mixed up. Where did Mochi Bunny, Jada's block? I got my hats mixed up and forgot one downstairs. Well, shoot. Well, I guess I'll just put this one in there instead. These are actually going to be going out later this week, but these are the hats for Billy and her project for keeping kids' heads warm during the winter in at-need areas. This is the cotton Candy Slouch. I am going to have to go down a hook size for my next one because this one's, it's pretty big. It's also extra big right now because I have the 2 little leftover bits in here to make its pom-pom. That's actually one of the reasons why I brought it up here is I need to make the pom-pom for it. Free space. Finish a whip. I've got the Unraveled Mitten Block 4, which this so far is my favorite one. I've really liked the last 2, but this one is so smushy. I love the Sedge Stitch. And create a pair of fingerless gloves. Well, I kind of felt like I was cheating with my first one. And I've been intending to do a review of this yarn anyway. So, I crocheted a pair of basic fingerless gloves. I made a headband just because neon yarn, why not? And then still had that only took half the ball. Surprisingly, this ball went a really long way. So I made a knit pair of mitts. So I actually made 2 pairs of fingerless mitts. And I think I'm going to keep these and gift the crocheted ones. Because these match my headband better. But I will do this is a combo review of the Red Heart Gumdrop, which is what this is, and the Red Heart Hopscotch. I did have a couple of people ask me about comparing those 2 yarns, so that set me up for another video. And this is one of the ones where I kind of felt like I was using the square to dictate what I made, but making fingerless gloves for me is not out of the ordinary. I've made quite a few pair, and I actually have 2 half pair that I found while cleaning my stash out. So, if you knit, I've got a set of the fetching gloves from eons ago, and in my Flash Your Stash video, actually I showed the TLC yarn and mentioned the pattern, the Hermione gloves from the Interweave Press Wizarding World thing. I found the ones I had started using a mohair blend, and they're just too... having a decent hair day. To have woken up and had it so awful looking this morning. I actually kind of feel cute and like I look like I tried, and I don't look so bad. Everything's swollen shut. Everything's very puffy right now. If you were on Ruthie's chat yesterday, I kind of showed us. Oh goodness, I had turned the volume off on this. I am so sorry, you guys. Hold on one second. I am so sorry about that, you guys. Oops. So, on to the next row. Start an Easter project. And actually, I know this is not the same one, there too. I was playing with actually some flower shaped dishes in very bright spring colors. This one is called Lilac something or other. I don't think I'm going to put a link to all the patterns here. You're going to have to probably source or go through my last couple show and tells and the one that's coming out directly after this to find all the patterns. This will actually be in show and tell 20, I think it is. My next show and tell that'll be published right after this. Just because there's so many patterns here and so many different locations, it would take me forever to edit the description box below. You can also check out my Ravelry page. I have all these up on Ravelry, so a lot of them are actually Ravelry patterns. Rose Likes Crochet asked me about that yesterday on Instagram, but yeah, a lot of these came from Ravelry. So, but this is Lilac. I really like this. I don't feel the back loop stitch was necessary for it, but I do think it's really pretty. So these are my Easter project. Finish a whip. I made a bird's nest. This is the bigger of the two I finished. And I like this pattern a lot more. It's a little bit more of a dish or a bowl. But I don't know, it feels more durable. The pattern actually says that the rescue can roll the brim to match the height that they need for each bird. But to keep in mind, they should be taller than you think, because a lot of rescues put tissues or pads down for baby birds who are doing their business down there. So yeah, got a bird's nest. Cake up, mostly use skeins of yarn. So this is kind of cheating, kind of not. This is something I already do. This is actually the ball left over. I decided to share a fresh one. But this is one of the ones that's left over from the Jada and Stitches 2019 calendar blanket. But this is something I've been in the practice and habit of doing now for many years. Just because I like easy storage and I don't like sloppy skeins. So anything that is about, I would say, 1/4 of a skein or more, I cake up and I put the label in the middle. Anything that's under 1/4 of a skein, I tend to ball. And those go immediately for my small scrap projects, like the hexagons I've been working on for the last couple of years, or my next one is actually, I think, going to be mitered grannies or mitered knit squares. I haven't decided, but I mean, anything that's going to ball up to something, you know, it's a little bit smaller than a baseball size, I tend to go ahead and just ball that, and that's a true scrap. This, and I just commented on Debbie, the Canadian Crotcheters video. To me, this is a leftover, not a scrap. So yeah, I cake my leftovers and I ball my scrap. Maybe that's a good way to explain it. But yeah, things that you could actually make an individual project out of, that's a leftover to me, not a scrap. Design your own project. So, not quite cheating. This was already something I had mulling around in my head. This just made me push it forward. I am working on writing up the pattern for this, but this is what I am calling my texture so bright I have to wear shades. Yes, that is a pun on the 10 Book 3 song. Ooh, bad seam. Bad seam. And worse because of the contrast of the neon to black. This, I'm working on my second one in here, is my second ball of the neon. So like all these hats that have had neon, I'm still only on my second ball of it. This stuff goes a lot further than you would think into hats. I am trying to do this slightly smaller, and I couldn't find an H hook. I made this with an I. So I am going to have to play around with it a little bit more before I write it up or anything else. It will be posted to my blog, and I will have it linked on Ravelry. So if you're interested, I will make sure that you have access to it. And I do want to try it in a couple extra colors too. Oh, by the way, Cindy, Freeze Baby Fibers. She's the one everybody keeps missaying her name and trying to read it literally as Frieza Baby and Frieza BB. But Freeze Baby Fibers made this, and I got it from her. She shared the fabric, and I told her I just had to have the bag. I'll be sharing it in my show and tell too. But look at the liner too. So that's design a project, create something with chunky yarn. So my Zoom group is going crazy, and I'm getting messages flashing from Facebook. This is the only one I think that is a true whip, in that it is a project with a I'm in control of the finish date. So it's not related to a cal or anything project. I was using these for our Zoom chat. I was using this as my Zoom chat project. but I started working on my Easter cards instead. So this is, it's still sitting here boxed and chilling, waiting to go, but it's a corner to corner stole. I was originally making it for myself, but as many of you know, we have had a crochet family member here that has suffered a extreme loss recently, and I'm thinking about maybe sending that to her. I have to see what everybody else is sending because I don't want her to get 20 shawls at once. Something more functional as a gift would be nice, I think. Work on a blanket project. We're now on the last row. Y'all can stop listening to me yammer on soon. But working on a blanket project, that would be my Jada and Stitches canvas. I did the whole thing in 6 days. I wasn't sure I was going to do it until a couple weeks ago. And now I'm kind of kicking my butt for it because I hate sewing on appliques. And the scrap for this is actually what made me think to do her 2017 blanket, which is also applique heavy. So it's like, do a cable project. Just try it. So it's funny. I actually love doing cables in crochet. So this is a herringbone cable. I love the texture in a crochet project, and I do think crochet cables can be really sloppy looking if you're a little too loose in your gauge. Or they can look very tight and professional like these do if you get the gauge right. And it all depends on the cable you're doing, the way you crochet, and how you handle it. Now, knit cables, I have a love-hate relationship with extremely bad. I love the look. I hate doing them because I'm really bad at them. I tend to get very loose sides to my cables. But I have tried repeatedly. And I have completed projects with cables that are knitted. Just, I'm not that good at them. And they do slow me down substantially. So create something that was inspired by a yarn podcaster. Well, Summer's Tips and Stitches actually made one of these mochi bunnies, and I decided I had to make them. So I'm still working on, I need to do the pink one with the red ears and tail. And probably I will do yellow now that I have 2 shades of yellow. And I didn't have any yellow worsted weight acrylic the other day. I had to actually buy things to do the sun for Jada's project. Excuse me. Also, if I hadn't forgotten the other hat, obviously Hannah's hat would have also fit that. Excuse me again. Square. Create a scrappy project. This is the small nest that I made. This one has a slightly more rounded bottom to it, and it's smaller all the way around. Let me see the size difference with the 2 of these. But I mean, I actually was commenting, somebody was talking about it being so tight, and I was actually explaining you can, I mean, it's dense. And last but not least, finish a whip. And this is the one where I said you could go back and forth as to which one it is. I have an extra hat in here. How did I end up with a rib jelly bean that didn't get used? Okay. Oh, this was supposed to be the first one. Create something with green. That was supposed to be this one. Then the other 2 were the jelly bean hats. Okay. So this is the same ancient red heart leftovers that I had. And this is the Hill 60 pattern. Yeah. So I'm sorry this has been so random and kind of all over the place, but that's kind of how my life is anyway. So make sure I've got everything going in the areas they're supposed to be going into. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. I would like to say thank you to Llama Mama Kayla for putting this together and doing this every month. This has been so much fun. People like Becky do kind of make me feel a little guilty for being such an overachiever. But as I keep saying, I do have more flexibility in my time, and I do have a lot of time where I'm stuck sitting and I need something in my hands to keep me going. So there's a chat going on right now and everybody's just waking up. There's only a handful of us on the East Coast. So anyway, it's really funny watching those messages come across my screen. I can't wait to see what April has to hold. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with next month. And right now I've got a couple other things that I need to get finished up that are just kind of on my checklist to do. So I'm going to get cracking on. I got 2 more videos left to film. So I will see you guys real soon. Thank you, Kayla.